Welcome to Broadcast Guitar. I am Josh. Glad to be here. Today we are doing a deep dive on a song by the Talking Heads, or Talking Heads, as I recently learned. This Must Be the Place. Nice, simple 4-chord loop that somehow never resolves and gives you lots to think about and to play around with. The hot topics on this one. First off, what key is it in? After Monday's class, I dug around on the internet a little bit, and the internet is just as uncertain about it as I am. But let's talk about it. Let's find that bass line all over the neck. Great excuse to learn the notes in many different places. How that plucky guitar riff lines up with the bass, adding to more ambiguity about what key it's in. And then lastly, how to work that melody in so that you can play it just solo on the guitar and have it sound like the song. And I don't even know if I meant to put this earlier, but here's our class structure. We're going to warm up. I will play the tune, and then I'll bust out that whiteboard and theorize. Then we will level our way through it. This is a good tune also because you've got a very playable level 1 version, even like could say level 2 and 3. So this is a good one to kind of show you guys how you can make something as complicated or as simple as you'd like, and that way hopefully whatever level you're at, you find something, find a way to get into the song and keep the guitar in your hands. Now sit back and relax. I'm gonna play the tune. I'm gonna do it kind of like a ballad version, and let's see if I can make this one work. All right, so This Must Be the Place. How are we going to cover this high part? Okay. There we go. So there's This Must Be the Place. Let's bust out the whiteboard and get a little bit of a game plan, make some sense of some of the theory involved, and then we will get that guitar back in our hands and level our way through it. Okay, whiteboard time. So look at the top there. It's just a loop. D, E minor, C, E minor. I personally, once I get to the melody though, that's where I'm thinking, man, there's a lot of stuff here with G major in my mind. So let's start with G major. If you're new to the theory side, I have a video called Music Theory 101. That's a good place to start. But it goes the major scale: whole step, half, whole step, whole step, whole step, half. Starts at G, ends at G. I also always say, you know, put your bookends there. That way, you know, you just got to fill in the middle. Your anxiety will go down because you know where you're going to start and end. So G, whole step to A, whole step to B, half step to C, whole step to D, whole step to E, whole step to F sharp with a half step back to G. If we were to put Roman numerals there, this one's going to be major, so uppercase. This one will be minor, so we could write it like that. We could do lowercase 3, uppercase 4, because that's a major, major, minor. This one's diminished, which you would do like that, and back to G. Now look up at the top. If we think about the song in the key of G, this would be your 5 to a minor 6 to a 4 to a minor 6. To be honest, that's how I like to think about it. But since it never goes to a G chord, and it sure does seem to resolve, it seems like the D chord is the home base, then you could also analyze it a different way. You could say, let's put a little line here. Modes, check this out. So like this one, the D chord, if we want to make that feel like the 1 chord, it would be D, the mode would be D mixolydian. And again, that's just where you're taking the same notes, the same chords from G major, but reorganizing them to make D the 1, So it would be like this. Let's see, let's put the old numbers here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. D, E. I'm just going to write the same notes as above. I'm not going to think about the steps. G, A, B, C, and D. And again, a little bit on modes, like you might think like, why are we doing this? But it's really about how the chords function, if you want to use that word. But in this case, like there would be the 1. I guess I should put some indication if it's major or minor. This would be minor. This would be, what do we say above? Diminished. This would be minor. And then that C would be just a C. So we got, let's see, what are we working with? This, this, and this. Hopefully it's sort of visible. And then in that case, if you prefer to think about it in D mixolydian, which I'm going to do, we will get rid of this, and that would allow you to say D is the major 1, E minor is a minor 2, which I have to admit it does feel like that kind of motion. And then C would be a flat 7 back to a minor 2. That's because in D mixolydian, if you know your D major scale, normally, or even look right here, the key feature of the major scale is a half step between the 7th note and the 8th note. Does that exist right here? No. That C to D is a whole step. So we would be calling that a flat 7. Let's make some sense of it on the guitar. I promise that will all kind of click. But those are the 2 main ways. I also saw some people say you could think about it in E minor. But point being, this is one of those few songs where there really is no, definitive answer. It's kind of just how you like to steer the car, as I always say. But I actually think that's a little too much of a level 1. I think you could do more than that. So to get it to sound more like the song, put a D note in all of those chords. So D is in a D chord. Let's keep that D chord as we go to E minor. Already sounds a little more melancholy, a little more like the song. And then let's keep it as we go to a C, making it a C add 9. And then back to the E minor 7. So just doing downstrokes at this tempo, 1 and 2 and 3 and So as I said, I personally like to think of it as that I'm in G major. It's just that I'm right in the middle of it, unresolved. I'm just kind of stuck in the middle of G major. So I personally like to think this is the 5, this is the minor 6, this is the 4, this is the 6, while having in the back of my mind that really G major is kind of guiding the whole thing. So level 1, get your chords going, add a D to all of them. Next up, let's hit some of these hot topics. So there's the debate about what key it's in. The last little tip I want to say is I was reading, do I still have it up here? Of course not. What key is this must be the place in? A little shout out to Ethan Hein, H-E-I-N, Ethan Hein blog. He has a good little write-up about the song. And yeah, the first line is, what the heck key is this in? All the pitches are within G major. The vocal melody certainly sounds like it's in G major. So check out Ethan Hein's blog if you want to read more about the debate of what key this must be the places in. Now let's find that bass line all over the neck, because that's a great way to level your way up on this one. I'm going to zoom in for you. So the bass line is going D, E, G, A. You're going to see E, G, A at the end of each of these. So it's going D, C, E, G, A, D, 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 E, E, G, A, C, 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 E, E, G, A. So a great excuse to start talking in notes. And that's a big thing with guitar players, is we kind of get stuck thinking about what fret number am I on? When really, you can really free up your creativity once you start thinking about how the notes are working and that they're all over the place. So we got D. Maybe let's make it simpler. Let's not even worry about the timing. Let's just go C, E, G, A, D, E, G, A, C, E, G, A. So now let me give you a quick overview of how you can do this. Here's like the first position. Second position. E, G, A, C. What did I want? E, G, A, D, E, G, A, C, E, G, A. Third position. D, E, G, A, C, E, G, A, D, 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 E, E, G, A, C, C, E, G, A. Fourth position, D, E, G, A, C, E, E, G, A, D, C. You could keep going. You could do it high. You could go like D. Another thing I'm always doing with you guys is saying, like, to really feel like you understand the way the song is put together, try to play it in different keys. And I personally find it much quicker to think 5/6, 4/6 in a lot of different keys. I'll give you an example. Let's say I wanted to play it in C. The 5 of C is G, the 6 is A minor, and F is the 4 back to the 6. So just take a minute, let the ear kind of adjust. Now, like I said at the top, take the first chord, find the root of it. In this case, it would be G, and then put that note in every single chord to make it sound more like the song. So if I went, and in my head I'm thinking 5, minor 6, 4, minor 6. But you can just hear it would be kind of a little cheesy to end on. Yay, have a good night, everybody. Talking Heads probably would not end on that chord. But you can also play around and find that, like, none of the chords really feel like good to be like, here we are, our final chord of the song. I did go with, but it doesn't feel like it's resolved when I did my version earlier. The big topic, saving basically half the class for it, which is how to work that melody in. So see how nicely that melody finally resolves into that E minor, though, because it's got that B. So E minor 7, C add 9, and a lot's happening in this hand. Like, I'm purposely only strumming up to like the B string right there so that those melody notes are at the top of what I'm playing, so they stick out. Now he finally goes to an E, we got an open E. Like I said, this is a good key for this. Then I could play my C add 9 like that. And I like to just kind of use one finger for that E minor. I do cover both of these with one finger. If that's too hard for you, you could just hit it right there. Or you could just, it's kind of muting the D string as well. So. And you can see I break into single notes sometimes, but once we get up to tempo, it feels like a complete full thing, more like a piano part. But you can see guitar players, it's tough. Most of what we do is like single note solos or big chords, but how do you get both going at the same time so that even if you're a singer or not a singer, you could play it and convey that it is the song you want. Also, it never hurts if you're accompanying a singer or yourself and you can work the melody into your guitar part, and then it just, adds to it. So, C add 9, B, C, D, D, E minor 7, finally gets that E and then that D. Pick up B, C, D, 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 C, B, 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 C, D, D, C, B, G, A. I finally have to reach for an A, and then, see right there, it kind of doesn't matter what I do because all I want to do is strum C, E, G, because I want that G to be the melody. Now we make it to the high part, the da-da-da. So, that melody is G, E, D, G, G, E, D, E, D. 3 notes, G, E, and D. So how do we do that with the chords? I would play the D chord the same way. Now I just reach my pinky in here. We're in luck because that open E works for the melody. There's my E minor 7 because I'm keeping that D all over the place. So C add 9, G, G, E, D, E, D. Just kind of narrating the melody. Same thing. Remember, back to like a level 1. Just have the D note in there over all your chords. E minor, D, E minor 7, C add 9, E minor 7. Now, let's let our brain soak that in for a second before we try to make our way up the neck. But you can see, find the melody, let the melody kind of lead you. Where I know I have to get to... So you can see I've got my work cut out for me. How am I going to be able to play that melody? Maybe I got to do it here. And you can also see there's choices to make, like, do you want that note to sound like that? Or a little more round like that? But again, a lot of when I arrange a song, it's mostly about like, what am I going to be able to, how am I going to make it sound complete? And how am I going to make it something I could like reasonably pull off, play, in a potentially stressful performance situation. Hey, Josh from Broadcast Guitar here. Hope you've been digging these videos. This is just the tip of the iceberg. If you'd like to access the full-length lessons, get the handwritten tabs, or better yet, participate in my live weekly classes, Q&A sessions, and special guest interviews, head on over to Broadcast Guitar's Patreon and start your free trial today. I look forward to working on some music with you.